Okay, so I was going to show everyone how to make sure you've got Respondus Lockdown Browser working well and working at all. So basically you need to go into into your quizzes, and let's check and make sure that you have one that you want to set. So I will just use this one. By the way, I always have an extra quiz that I have set up just to check so that they can have it all semester just to check their computer. So let's kind of take a look at this, just a check quiz. That way they can check anytime before they take, say, their midterm. And it just says this is a text. This is just a check quiz to make sure that your Respondus Lockdown browser works. So that's all that is. So I would suggest that you put one in there. And then what you do to make sure that Lockdown Browser is working is you click on Lockdown Browser, and we'll go through each of the settings. And again, this is the one. And if I click the drop down box here, we'll see that we can click on Settings. And it will probably already have Don't Require. So then you'll click on Require Lockdown Browser for this exam. I never set a password, but you could if you wanted to. And then I click on Advanced Settings and I say Require it. In other words, this requires Lockdown Browser when they want to go in and look at the results from their test. Could or could not block that. I don't have any issues with it, so I go ahead and check it. I do not lock the students in the browser until the exam is complete, but you could. And you can allow access to specific external websites. If you do that, if you click on that, then it'll ask you what the website is. I know there have been some issues with that in the past, so I try not to use that unless I have to. I enable a scientific calculator because I do not allow the students to use the calculator while they're testing on their phone or anything. And then I don't know why anybody would enable printing, because then they could print the test. But okay, I do webcam only. You could do webcam and the screen. In other words, the webcam is recording the student doing their test. You could do the webcam and the screen. That is a new feature that I may begin using. So it would videotape their screen and themselves while they are testing. I'm not real sure about the live proctoring for this exam. Then in the startup sequence, I always check everything except for the environment check. So I take that one off. And I do check the face detection options. It just lets you know if they leave their screen or they aren't visible in the screen. I also click advanced settings and allow the use of an iPad. And then save and close. So that's pretty much the gist of it. I do want to show you one thing that you need to do at the beginning of every semester if you copy test over. When you go into quizzes after you've copied a test over, and if you click on Lockdown Browser, so you'll need to remember to do this, and I don't know why it happens, but it does. You have to reset the Lockdown Browser. So for instance, I don't think any of them are in this one, but for instance, right here, it'll say that you need to fix. It'll just have the word fix here, and you just click on it. For some reason, when copied, they have to be fixed at the beginning of each semester. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you would need to know for Lockdown Browser. Let me show you what it looks like once a student has taken a test. Let's look at this one. So I can look at the class results, and you'll see it takes just a second to pull that up, and what you'll be able to do is see the review of what it was, how long it took them to take it, and who took it. And if you click on the plus sign over here, that was an older class, so you can't see them. So let me go into, let's see if they're in a newer course, and I'll show you what those look like. I'll show you what it looks like when a student takes their test. Let's do this one. let's look at test 2 in this course, and I'll show you what it looks like, what you get to see when a student takes a test. And then I go through and, just kind of quickly peruse through the test. Here's the practice test that I used it on, so I can go to class results. And then you can look at the priorities. That doesn't necessarily say much, but you can see why those were reviewed high or low. They might have just been missing from the frame. Sometimes that's correct, sometimes it's not. So you can watch the whole video of this student. And he had just basically put his head down, so that's why that caught that. So usually that's no big deal. And then you can look at just time snaps as well. So I typically will do that and then check the box that it's been reviewed, and you can make any notes there if you want. Okay, so I hope that helps.